Top of the morning to you. In this case, it is tonight for me, but that's okay. Maybe you're doing this in the morning. Maybe you're doing this in the afternoon. Who knows? I don't know. But today, I'm going to be doing an experiment, a science experiment. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Super excited. So today, for this science experiment, I'm going to be conducting this experiment that is going to illustrate the chemical reaction between sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3, and the weak acid acetic acid, CH3COOH, to form carbon dioxide, CO2, liquid water, H2O, and sodium ions, Na+, and acetate ions, CH3COO-. So to perform this experiment, I'm going to need baking soda, vinegar, boom, a paper towel, smack, a piece of tape, which I got right here, and a plastic bag. But I also am going to use this lovely teaspoon right here to help me scoop out some of my baking soda. So first, I'm going to take my paper towel and lay it on my workspace. Thankfully, I have it already on my workspace. Then I'm going to take my lucky spoon and I'm going to scoop out 4 lovely teaspoons of baking powder here. And so now that I have it on the center of my paper towel, I'm going to fold my paper towel like so, right? As you can see, my lovely paper towel folding skills. I'm gonna flip it over. I'll fold it a couple times. I'm going to fold it this way. Essentially, I'm creating a little package of baking soda, right? So I've secured this package of baking soda. This is when the lucky piece of tape comes in. All right, here we go. So now I have my baking soda wrapped in this very secure paper towel. All right, so now that I have made my package of baking soda, I'm going to take the plastic bag and fill it with vinegar. Then very carefully place the baking soda in this package without mixing the package and the vinegar, because not just yet. So I'm going to make this very careful. I'm going to do this over the sink because safety. No, actually preventing my parents from having to clean a mess, or therefore I having to clean a mess. I don't want to clean a mess. No one really wants to clean a mess. I'd say that's probably about enough. The directions didn't really give me a specific amount. They just said 4 teaspoons of this. I'm going to do a little more. That's okay though. Might not be as exciting. Okay, so now that I have my baking soda in here, I'm going to make sure that the baking soda doesn't come in contact with the vinegar just yet, like I said, just yet. So zip lock this. So here it is. I have the baking soda just above the vinegar. Vinegar's spilling. This is sealed. So the bag is sealed completely. I will hold this over the sink to prevent a mess. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the bag. I'm going to release the pressure off of this little baking soda package. And then I'm going to squish this up a little bit to make sure that the package is purely all soaked in vinegar. And then a chemical reaction is supposed to happen. This is my first go, so if nothing happens, this is really disappointing, but I'm gonna explain what it would have, you'll see, we'll see. Okay, here we go. I am over the sink and I am dropping it. I'm squishing it up. Yep, the chemical reaction is forming. You see all those bubbles? Isn't that neat? Yep. Okay, it's not doing what I wanted it to do, but here you can see all these bubbles are forming. You see that? Or do you hear that? All these bubbles are happening. Okay, you can even, wow, that smells really interesting. So even like, look at all those bubbles. Look at all those fancy, awesome, amazing bubbles. Yeah, you can hear that fizzing maybe. If I put it up to my AirPod, you can hear it fizzing because a chemical reaction is happening. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that so neat? Okay, so now you can see There's still some bubbles. I don't know if you could tell before, but like this, it's a shame because there's a hole in this bag, unfortunately. But regardless, the bag blew up. Now, why did the bag blow up? Okay, here's what exactly happened. So like I mentioned before, the chemical reaction that occurred during this experiment was it was between sodium carbonate in the baking soda, correct? And it was between acetic acid, which is vinegar, right? So this weak acid, the molecules of the weak acid are whizzing around, colliding into the sodium bicarbonate molecules, and they start to begin to form their ideal activated complex. As you know, not every collision is going to necessarily get into the reactive collision, right? Meaning that most, or not most, but a lot of these molecules aren't going to collide with either enough energy or they're not going to collide within the right spatial orientation. But, however, because the reaction takes place in a relatively small fixed volume, right, in this fixed space, given the amount of quantities of both baking soda and vinegar, these reactions, these collisions are going to happen at a much bigger, faster pace, therefore allowing more chances for them to reach their ideal activated complexes, or at least like it's gonna, because there's more collisions. Yeah, it's more likely for these collisions to appeal to their activated complex, either with enough energy or the right spatial orientation. And so that said, as a result, you're going to get a release of carbon dioxide gas, which is hence why the bag is blown up just a little bit. You can see, and what that is essentially why it's blowing up is because carbon dioxide is released, therefore applying pressure to the walls of the plastic bag, applying pressure out because gases flow freely and they're trying to collide and get out and roam around. So they're taking the shape of this plastic bag by doing that, right? They're taking the shape, and down here it's clearly a liquid, and what this liquid consists of is water, H2O, and the sodium ions and the acetate ions in their aqueous solution. So here we have a water solution with the sodium and acetate ions, as well as the carbon dioxide gas that is trapped within this beautiful blown up plastic bag. So I hope you enjoyed this experiment. It was really fun. I was hoping for a pop, that I didn't get that. So unfortunately, you're not getting too much action, but I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this goes well and you give me an A. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've done this year. I know this is a really tough year to be a TA for the first time, but I'm very thankful to have you for a TA, even for that, at least like in person, for that very short period of time, but then like being there for us and just doing the work. It's phenomenal. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Have a good night or morning or afternoon.